Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's Mike DiMuccio, your host, Royal Diamond with Ken. I've been that for a long time and want to share whatever I can to encourage you to go for it. Life begins at Royal Diamond. I can say that because I've been at this rank since 1997. So it's been 30, almost 30 years, 25 years. And it's definitely fun because most of your attention turns to the benefit to Nikan and to everybody else because you're done trying to climb through the ranks. So you're now really into helping others stretch their perception of what's possible, stretch their understanding of how to make it possible, and and just create a better life and a better lifestyle for yourself, for your friends, for your family. I can tell you, it's great when you have options, and money is certainly something that provides options. So, building a strong business, a strong, viable business, is a very worthy and worthwhile thing to do. And to find a business that makes your heartstrings move too, where you have more than just a purpose, you have passion. That's the best combination of all. Now, last week we got into some training, some real business-like training. And I hope you watched the replay of the video. If you haven't watched last week's training that I did, please watch it. It's a very, very important tool. I think I've actually added it as a tool in our toolbox. For those of you who are new, don't know what I'm talking about, we have a WhatsApp chat group called Tools. And if you're new, you're just joining that chat. You won't obviously have access to all the previous tools, but you will have access to anything I download into that comes from Nikan and from me that are relevant tools that you can use for marketing, promotion, education, inspiration, basically business building tools. So if you're not on that chat, please make a request to join that chat through WhatsApp. You'll find us on in two chats, the Core Consultant Group. In Canada, there's a Canadian chat, and then there's the Tools chat. Those are three chats on WhatsApp. Ask your sponsor or your upline to get you onto those chats so that you have access to that, where most of us have a presence there and are able to share what's going on in the world of Nikan in real time. So last week, I did post a video. It's in the Royal Alliance YouTube channel if you're looking for it and you can't find it on the chat. Aligning with Success is my playlist, is where I host all of the trainings that we've done via this call. And like I said, it's a very important training to understand because it helps you become aware of the business you're building and how the curves really look, why the curves are a bell curve, and how there's a long-term sustainability through the consumption model. The consumption, actually, it's probably not even a consumption model as much as it is a active wellness consumer model. And I say that because active wellness is not a one-time thing. It's not like you buy your Nikan topper and you put it on your bed and now you're done. That's not it. That's just one of many things that we do in Nikan to be active in our well-being and to utilize Nikan technologies for that purpose. So we did talk a lot about, though, the wellness subscription or the AUTOSHIP program that is a huge benefit to the long-term picture, the business that you're building. So example, most people know where their local Walmart is, and if they're in the habit of going to Walmart or whatever their favorite grocery store is, that grocery store doesn't have to do anything to sell to you, to market to you. You already know it, you know where it is, you know what it has, and you know that you can find it if you go there. So you make a habit of doing that as a consumer. It doesn't require much effort on their part to get your business. And statistically, we know that it takes about 1/16 the cost, about 16 times the amount of money, resources go into acquiring a customer as what goes into maintaining a customer. Think about the math on that for a second. So think of all the effort that you're putting in now to attract new customers and new consultants. Okay. That's why there's money in the Nikan compensation plan, good money in the Nikan compensation plan, because the cost of acquisition is the high cost. It's not the cost of keeping customers, it's the cost of finding them. The cost of keeping is about 1/16, according to the business economics. So it doesn't take much effort to keep customers coming back, especially if they enjoy the products and they know what to expect. So it's a very valuable thing to be aware of your AUTOSHIP program, or what we call the wellness subscription program. The concept of the wellness home, which is an ongoing thing. It's not a one-time thing. Active wellness, which is an active participation in someone's well-being, as much as brushing your teeth is an active participation in maintaining your teeth. It's not something you do once and expect to do it for, have that done for the rest of your life. It's something you do and you practice every day. So active wellness is something we practice every day, and Nikan has some tools in our arsenal of tools with respect to products that we can incorporate. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask those of you who are on AUTOSHIP, I'm going to show you a picture. I took this downstairs before coming upstairs. I wanted to show you what my kitchen counter looks like. So let me just switch this view to speaker view. Okay, so there we go. This is my kitchen counter, and this is what's on it. As you can see, there's a lot of nutritionals on that counter. And of course, these are all the various nutritionals that we take here in my home. That is on an ongoing basis. So I don't want to necessarily go through all the ones that I have, but I did want to ask those of you who are taking Nikan nutritionals on the AUTOSHIP, more specifically on the AUTOSHIP. So let's leave it to that. If you are, first question I'm going to ask, I'm going to show you how to do this on your screen. If you move your cursor around, your mouse around, you'll see down at the bottom a thing that says reactions. It's a smiley face with a plus sign. It says reactions. And you can click raise your hand like I just did, and you'll see my hand just raised. And then you can click lower your hand, and you can lower your hand. So we're going to do this. What I want you to do is, if you like the idea of making money in your Nikan business, raise your hand. So far, so good. Mike's got 2 hands up. So does Cheryl. All right. Some of you, have you figured out how to do this or not figured out how to do this yet?
I haven't figured out how to do it yet.
Okay. Are you on a laptop or on a?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay. If you move your cursor around, the bottom of your screen appears all of those doodads. Video, microphone, chat, and then you'll see reactions. Click on reactions.
I did.
You got it. All right.
Okay.
So those of you just joined us, you're raising your hand using the reactions button if you want to make money in Nikan. If making money is a thing. So for you, keep your hand up. Don't take it down if you put it up.
Alt-Y also works.
I'm guessing that most people that are on here are either not understanding what I'm saying or are just slow in the response. If you want to make money in Nikan, raise your hand. Again, for those of you just joined, if you want to make money in Nikan, raise your hand using the reactions button down at the bottom of your screen. Give us a raise your hand. Okay, so Mike Barcroft, you don't want to make money? Oh, he does. Okay. How about, let's see, what do I got here? I can't see. Oh, there we go. Barb Satterwhite just rose her hand. Solange, do you not want to make money? Do you want to make money? You don't know how to raise their hand. Raise your hand this way.
Je n'ai pas compris la question.
Est-ce que vous voulez faire de l'argent avec Nikan?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. 2 hands. Okay. All right. So it looks like everybody's hands are up. Excellent. You can put your hands down. Okay, good. We're talking to the right audience on this call then, because really the point of this call is not just to get together. It's to give you some instruction, to give you some tools to improve your opportunity and your ability to make money. Okay, go ahead. You can put your hand down, Leo. You can put your hand down, Marie-France. You can put your hand down, Linda. Because I'm going to ask another question. Here's my other question. Be honest. This is a poll. You got to be honest. If you have a Nikken AUTOSHIP wellness subscription, raise your hand right now. If you currently have a Nikken AUTOSHIP subscription, raise your hand. Okay, that's good. Okay, we want just genuine sincerity. Okay. Okay, so those of you who've raised your hand, keep your hand up, just leave it there. These are the people who currently have AUTOSHIP. I'm going to ask you one at a time what you have on your AUTOSHIP and why, okay? For the benefit of everybody who's not raised their hand, so they understand why and what you got going on. So let's start with D. Daisy, you're the first person I see up there. D, what products do you have on AUTOSHIP and why?
I probably have everything other than the men's multivitamin.
Why don't you have the men's multivitamin?
and I use everything daily.
Why?
And I just feel like I want everything I can have to support my well-being now and for the future.
Okay.
That it's not just, trying to catch up with something, but I want it consistently.
Is there a favorite of the items that you have on AUTOSHIP? By the way, your thumb or your finger is over the. There you go.
Sorry. Yes. I'm not sure because I really like everything, and the jade green zymes, the KVB, the multivitamin, the lactoferrin, the clarity, I think, is really an important piece. And I've been told by peers that, oh, Dee, you remember everything, kind of thing. And I don't, obviously, but I really think it makes such a difference. And I would be fearful to stop using things to see, because I don't want to test what might happen. I don't want to go backwards.
Right. Because we're not talking about drugs. We're talking about food. And food that's presented to us in an organic, holistic way that is super nutrient rich, which are all the things that our body needs to thrive. So if you're on a haphazard diet, you're obviously not getting all the full scope of nutrition that you need. And so your body is going to be compromised in terms of its ability to perform immediately. And then, of course, in the long term, that's going to tax us. Thanks for your answer, Dee. I'm going to move on to Paul. Paul Gabias, what are you using? What's on your AUTOSHIP?
Oh, everything. Everything's a plus for Mary Ellen. So both of us.
So you got one heck of an AUTOSHIP order. What would you say? What's your AUTOSHIP consumption? Dollars and cents.
In terms in dollars and cents, probably close to, in volume, 1,500 anyway, at least.
Wow. Okay. So you are a real avid consumer of wellness between you and your family, right? So you're up in the scope of where I am with my AUTOSHIP for me and my family. Is there a favorite?
I'd have to say, if I had to give up all of them, my favorite would be Joint, because it has really helped me in times of major discomfort. So I love all the other ones, but Joint, that's got the CM formula in it.
Wonderful.
Is amazing.
Thank you, Paul. Mike Barcroft, what do you got on your AUTOSHIP?
I have the Super Siaga on my AUTOSHIP, the Jade Green Zymes, and the Vital Balance Shake. Actually, I have 2 Vital Balance Shakes on mine, and then I also have the lactoferrin. I have that for my kid to help heal his gut.
To help what?
Help heal his gut.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Have you had a benefit with that? Have you noticed?
Well, it was just recommended, and then when he was diagnosed with Crohn's, and we've been using it ever since. So
is there a favorite?
I just the 3 I named, yeah.
Okay.
I drink the shake all the time, probably twice a day.
Okay, cool. I love mixing the Jade Green Zymes with the Siaga. That's my go-to.
I usually drink the Siaga by itself.
Oh yeah.
with water.
My son has a thing he calls a concoction. He started this when he was a little kid. So I got my kids drinking Jade Greenzymes by calling it jungle juice, to give it a kid-friendly name. And so they would always have for dinner, that's jungle juice. And then eventually when any one of them got a cold or something like that, I would say, okay, we need to make this concoction, and we would put all of the major stuff in. They didn't want the capsules, so I would open up the mushroom capsules and pour it in and mix it all up, and they would knock it back. And so Michael knows when he's got, his immune system or whatever's off, he makes this concoction. So he's got the Jade Greenzymes, the Siaga, and then he opens up those mushroom capsules, like 5 or 6 of them, and this mixes it up and knocks that back. So good stuff. Thanks, Mike. Barb Satterwhite, what do you have on your Nikken AutoShip?
Everything except the men's formula.
You're like D.
Don't
I was
need
going
that.
to ask D, why don't you have the men's formula? Okay.
Don't have a man.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
so-
and I wouldn't want to be without Jade Greenzymes. I mean, I love the KVB and I rely on that as a very easy, nutritious meal. But Jade Greenzymes and immunity would be 2 I wouldn't want to be without. Now, I agree with Paul. The joint is awesome, and I do it all preventatively, quite honestly. And I say this all the time. People used to say, "Oh, I'm healthy. I don't need anything," and blah blah blah. They didn't want to spend the money. I said, you know what? You're going to pay for your health now or later.
oh my God, that's so true.
And really, and a few $100s now versus many thousands of dollars, and you're going to be sick later. So think about it in terms of prevention.
You can't stop aging, but what you can do is ensure healthy aging. Right?
And think about this. Don and I both were on everything, and Don was 80 when he died, and he was on no medications at 80, except for the fib. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that says it all. I mean, that says a huge thing about how we address our health while we got it, how we maintain our health while we have it by being active in our wellness is a quality of life that we ensure. That's what we're not, if you eat well. And what the nutritionals do is they ensure that you're getting the good diet, regardless of what you might eat around it. So that's the other thing that I like that's assuring is that, because, when you're busy and you're on the go, you don't have time. You don't have to. And when you go out for restaurants, you know how it is at restaurants. They want the food to taste great. So everything's laced with sugar, laced with fat. It's like just not the healthiest stuff. You gain a lot of weight when you travel if you don't eat much. And so by having the nutritionals on the go, then I know that I've gotten what my body needs. I've gotten the nutrients my body needs. The rest is just because I like to eat. I like the taste of other stuff. So it's just how I look at it, how I address it. Barb Richmond, what's on your AutoShip?
Well, I start every day with a big glass of 2 scoops of Jade Greens and pie water. And then I have my smoothie. Now I take KVB every day, immunity, lactoferrin, the Omega-4 for women, Siaga, Clarity, and of course, I'm a big advocate on the joint product because it's enabled me, in spite of my situation right now, to keep going without prescriptions, and the bone health pack.
Wow. Okay.
And I split it into 2 AutoShips.
Why?
So I have one at the beginning of the month, and then I have one closer towards the end of the month.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like that. The fact that you can actually create an AutoShip separate, and you can even change the rhythm of the AutoShip. So for instance, some items like the waterfall requires a filter cartridge replacement once every 3 months. You can have an AutoShip just for that goes once every 3 months. I, on the other hand, actually have there's a couple of things that I have that are the durables on AutoShip every month. I have the power chip, the power band bracelet, the bracelet, and the necklace. I have that on AutoShip every month, one of each of those. Why? Why do you suppose? I have the CM cream on AutoShip every month, and I have a Nikken filter cartridge on AutoShip every month because I got a lot of filters between me and my kids, and I want to make sure that I have a backup supply regardless. There's always filter cartridges in the house. Even if there was an emergency water situation, I'm prepared for that because I know I have the ability to convert terrible water into good water if there was an emergency necessary. But the power chip, the CM cream, the cream, and the bracelet and necklace, those are my promotional items. Those are items that I have on hand that I can leave behind with people, let people try. And it's really cool because now we have that sharing app. That new sharing app allows us to actually do that remotely. I can send it to people. So just something to think about. That's what I do. Why? Because I'm in business. I consider my business not something that I'm a spectator in. I see my business as something I'm active in, and my business is the business of show and tell. So having products on hand to show and tell, let people try and experience for themselves. Tell you that CM cream is a huge, huge hit. I don't know if you've tried this yet, but trust me when I tell you, I'm batting 100 with the CM cream. Everybody who's got a need and uses it buys it. Okay, so I got customers just because I loaned the CM cream, and now I got customers buying it regularly. So just something to think about. Elaine.
Can I say something about the CM cream, Mike?
Sure.
This time of year, as we're coming into cold and flu season, the CM cream doesn't just work for joint challenges. It's great at opening up the sinuses if a person has congested sinuses. Just rub some on the hands and put it up to your nose and inhale it, and the sinuses will immediately open and drain, and you don't have that sinus pressure in the head.
Cool.
I've got more customers at this time of year by giving them a demo of the CM cream for that, and sells immediately.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mike, I have a question on the CM cream.
Yes.
How do you, because it is I know it's not comparable, but if someone uses Rub A535, what do you say to make this better? And because it's 3 times the price. Well,
I've never had to compare it to Rub A535. When I refer to CM cream, I say it's the WD-40 for muscles and joints. Okay. I say it's acetyl myristoyl with glucosamine. It's all natural. So that's important. It's a factor that's all natural. Smells great. Doesn't leave a greasy film on you. You're going to love it. Try it. And that's it. When they try it, I don't know what they've used. These people that I've been dealing with, I don't know what they've used, if they've used anything in the past, but they love what they're using. So they want more of it. They don't come back to me with anything else. So I've not experienced the objection because I just haven't. I don't know.
Okay. I've had customers who've done comparisons, Mike, that have used the others, the Voltarens, the A535 and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And they've done a comparison because they use less of the CM. It's immediately absorbed. And I have one Mennonite lady that uses it every single day on her knee. And one tube will last her 6 months using it every day.
Wow.
And the others, in 6 months, they'd probably go through 2 or 3 tubes to get relief. This acts immediately.
So in the end, you're paying the same, if not more, for a non-natural versus a natural. You know, again, I guess it's just use your best judgment. Anyway, Elaine, what about you? What do you got on your AUTOSHIP?
Mine's probably about $200 a month, sometimes a little more, sometimes less. I change it. Green Zymes is my favorite. I'm like Barbara. I have some, although I only do 1 scoop, in a little bit of water first thing in the morning before I have anything else. And then I exercise and then I come back and I have the I muscle test all of these to see what's good. The detox, the cleanse and detox. Linda Morris just talked about clarity last Friday, and I had some here, hadn't been using it, so I brought that again, you know, really good. The lactoferrin and immunity. I went to England and Scotland for 3 weeks this summer, and beforehand, and then while I was there, obviously, I was really, really concerned about staying healthy. And so I brought this stuff. I brought my little Nikan wellness home. I brought, all that immunity and lactoferrin. Lactoferrin, especially for me, if I start feeling depleted at all, that gets the body going again. And and then I usually have the KBB and the Siaga is my reward at the end of the day.
That's nice.
At about 8 o'clock at night, when I've been a good girl, then I have it in a little bit of almond juice, and I do not have it with the green zymes. I just have the Siaga.
Sweet. That's nice. By the way, thanks for that comment about the healthy immune system with lactoferrin. I don't know how long ago I heard that lactoferrin is an antiviral. So if you are concerned about picking up something, or you're not feeling well, or you just got off an airplane or something, knock it up. You just could take 4 or 5 of them. There's not too much. You can't take too much. This is food. And
Okay,
I do
Mama,
the same
sleep well.
thing. I do the same thing with the mushrooms, with the Nican mushrooms. So the immunity. So don't hesitate how much you can take, even though it might say a capsule a day. That's just nominal. And if you want to really hit something, hit it with 4 or 5. And sometimes when it's really bad, I'll do 4 times 3. So I've done 4 times 3 servings of each in the course of the day when I'm at the sort of the peak of an infection or something like that. So think about that. You'll find that it's probably the most potent thing you can take to reverse the impact of something that's invading you. Barbara Bertucci, how about you? What's on your auto ship?
Oh my gosh, Mike, I have 2. I'm kind of like Barbara. So I have one in the beginning of the month, one in the end, but I am also coaching people to set up more than one so that their filters are on their own auto ship, coming consecutively along with the shower filters and that. And Ruth Lowe got me excited about getting more auto ships set up. And in Florida, we had actually gone the opposite and had people go twice a month. So order 2 months supply every other month because the shipping was different and whatever. But now it's back on track, and it's like, no, we're going back to monthly, and you're going to have your monthly in there. But like you, I also have, so my favorites, J. Greenzymes, lactoferrin, and the immunity. KVB is I always have a backup in my shelf. But like you, I have a chip, a bracelet, a CM, and necklace. And then if somebody orders it, I can quickly up the CM cream and have an extra on hand. I just started back doing tabletops, little expos, and it's tremendous results. Who was asking about it? But I just have them look straight ahead, look to the right, come back, look to the left, come back, and come back center, so they know where home base is. And then what side stiffer, and just put it on the one side. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And
what are you putting on the one side?
The CM cream.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The CM cream just on one side, and see how they do. Sometimes I'll spray water on the other side or on their hands, and see how it is improved just with the water. But immunity, I'm a breast cancer thriver of now 19 years, and I coach people. And so it's not either or, chemo, this or that, whatever, but both and. So the detox, cleanse, and the immunity, lactoferrin, greenzymes, and shake all go together. And who's talking about their shake? I take the shake, a scoop of just cacao, and the Siaga, and it's so great. It's like a cherry chocolate thing. So that's my new splurge.
Nice.
To put it in with my shake. But thanks, Mike. But I do it twice a month. I'm close over 500. I always want to keep a few things in my trunk, in my bag, my satchel. So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barbara. Linda Morris, how about you? What's in your auto ship?
So I have 2 categories. First is consumable, and my favorite, I call it my Nican cocktail, is immunity, greenzymes, and super shadow with water. And I also add calcium in there from time to time, maybe every other month. For my non-consumable, the first product I ever tried with Nican 16 years ago was the CM cream. We've been promoting that a lot well. And so everywhere I go, I always keep that in my purse. And I really miss not having the samples that we used to have. We used to have the samples with the postcards. Oh, I love those because I've had more people want to know about that CM cream. And then I tell them how I've used it. I tell them about my joint issue. I also tell them I use them on the bridge of my nose, like Barbara said. It's also great around your neck as the weather's changing, around your neck and your chest, like an old vapor rub. I use it that way. Boy, does that clear up a lot of stuff that you might start to have little coughs or congestion. Love the CM cream. I love to add in the duct tape. That's another wonderful one that it's great to carry in your bag or purse. And about quarterly, I get the waterfall and shower filters.
Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. I think we've got everybody if you came on the call late, I'm just going to ask you one simple question. If you have an auto ship order and you haven't spoken yet, raise your hand, go to the reactions button and raise your hand if you have an auto ship order and you haven't spoken about it yet. So what we saw when we first started this was about half of the hands on the call went up with auto ship. How many hands went up with the intention of making money? All of them, right? So 100% of the hands went up with the intention of making money. Half of the hands went up with respect to who has an auto ship and why. We went through that. Now,
Michael,
yes.
It's also now called a wellness subscription.
Yes. So I want you to think about this for a second because of last week's call. Again, if you haven't seen last week's Aligning with Success call, do it. It is a keen understanding of the business model, immediate, midterm, and long-term, how the income curves. It's basically teaches you about cash flow of your business. And I told you that half of my business, half of my earnings in a month, I've earned before the month started. And you might think, well, how's that possible? You start with 0 PGV, PV, whatever. Yes, but there's auto ship, which means, or wellness subscriptions, which means half of the people in my organization are consuming Nikken nutritionals and so forth. That alone is half of the volume from which we generate an income. And you just saw a live demonstration of that, half the people on this call. So ask yourself this question. If you want to make money, is auto ship a good idea? Obviously, it is, especially if you want to make residual money, residual income. So when should you start your auto ship business? It should be part of your Nikken business. It should be a no-brainer. Now, there was another side of this. You were listening to why people were on the auto ship. Not one of them said, because I enjoy the income I make from auto ship. They all talked about their benefits from the auto ship in terms of their well-being. So if you are into active wellness, you would be in auto ship anyway. If Nikken had no magnetics, no durables, it was just the auto ships program, then you would have that. That would be a no-brainer. So why is it even a question in your mind? How did it get to be a question in your mind, or why is it not on your mind or in your business model? So I'm encouraging you to think about what we talked about last week and this week, that auto ship is both an active wellness commitment, meaning this is something you do for you. This is something you do for your well-being. Why would you be into wellness and not be into wellness in the way it looks? And then the second thing is it's good for your business. Now, since our business model is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. In other words, you share from your personal experience the benefits to other people. But if you have no personal experience, you're not going to be sharing. So your auto ship business is dead on arrival if you don't have auto ship yourself. But once you have it, you talk about it. That's how it goes in this business. We tend to talk about what we do, and that's the most ethical way to do it. So keep this in mind. Last week, I showed you the money. I showed you the long-term play in this business is to create an ongoing active wellness consumer. And not all your consultants are going to remain business builders. But if you do what I'm talking about, you're going to have auto consumers. You're going to have people who stay on as consumers of Nikken products and are going to be on those AUTOSHIP programs because they're going to want the Jade Greenzymes that they love, the Siaga to the comfort, the thing to close off the night. They're going to want the joint because they don't want to feel the joint pain. They're going to want, you see what I'm saying? When people become enthusiastic about the products, they don't not want the products. They always want the products. And so the one thing you know for sure is that your business will be consistent in the future because you've got customers who are consistent. So it has to start somewhere. I suggest it starts with you, and it starts now. And you just heard all the reasons tonight why the products would be a good idea. And you heard all the reasons last week why the AUTOSHIP would be a good idea from a business perspective. So put 2 and 2 together and realize that while Nikken has some pretty spectacular, very different and unique products to wow people with, and to create huge volumes in short periods of time, like our sleep system, which is right now on special, it's the pillows for free. Those are big bangs, big explosions, big excitement, big income. But that is a wave. That wave comes and goes. Once that person is sleeping on the sleep system, then what? You want that customer to not just be a customer of a sleep system, you want them to be an active wellness consumer, which means they're into active wellness. Help them understand what that means. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. And does anyone have any more comments with respect to this topic?
Hey, Mike.
Okay, we got a few of you. So let's, Barb and then Linda.
Barb, Richmond,
Bertucci.
Barb. I wanted to add that Igor's really brilliant at this, and I wasn't sure if it's just because at one point the European market had issues with shipping, kind of, you know, we have bouts of that sometimes with the carriers. And so all of the Europeans have their AUTOSHIPs between the 1st and the 5th of the month, every month, 1st to the 5th. Now, occasionally I either do that or I have it on by the 20th of the month, so that all my wellness subscriptions are in and done by the 20th of the month. Of course, you're going to have new people and you're going to have other things scraggle. But once they're in, I make a note and I go up it to the 20th and such. And that way I know what my volume is. I know the potentiality of like Club Ki or, you know, different things right now. I'm on a run for one right now myself. And it's pretty amazing because you get to see it right away. I mean, he blows me away, Igor, because I'll see this huge volume come in before the 5th of the month. And I'm like, where, you know, like what, like how? And it's just amazing. So, you know, to strategically do that also in business is pretty cool as well. I just wanted to underline that, Mike.
Great feedback.
Yeah, thanks.
Linda?
Yes, I wanted to add one more thing, Barbara. One of the Barbers had just mentioned regarding the benefit of our wellness subscription. My dear mother, who just left us a year ago on October 1st, lived to be 96 and a half. And there's no way I can prove it, but I love leveraging her story. And I share how at the time of her graduating to heaven, she was not on one single medication at 96. And she was a dialysis patient and all that stuff, but still no. And I just tell them, well, you know, for 16 years, she was on the sleep system and the water and this and that. So I love leveraging that story. Plus, by the way, she joined me with the Nikken in her early 80s. We went silver together. So I always like to put in a little bit about how this is also wonderful business. We're going on almost 50 years old. And I'm here in Washington State, and this is like the epicenter, you know, coming from Japan. So I mention all that information in a little bit of time that I have. I'm talking with a lady now who seems to be very interested, that lives in Puyallup, and I just share all that stuff. And I say, you know, if you've got kids that are right now with the offshoot of the pandemic, people don't have jobs, they don't know what they want to do for a job. This is a great way to not have a job and get your kids out of your pocket. And I always blend that we're not just selling product. I always say this is also a business opportunity. I've learned how to do that well, and it gets a lot of attention. So I've got a few people that I'm sharing that information with now. So that's
fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for that add-on. One more time. Anybody want to add anything to this, the context of this call?
Yeah, I do, Mike.
Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, so products sell themselves. So the health food store won't do this, but I can. But when people come to my house and they're looking at Nikan, most people look at it as a business. I just give them the KVB, a jug of KVB, Jade Greenzymes, one, and then Siaga, and they love it, and it continues. So month after month after month. So
you're using sort of the puppy dog approach, which is
yes,
if they try it, they'll like it. Try it, you'll buy. Like it, you'll buy it.
And they do.
And they do.
As part of their business.
Yeah.
And for their health too.
Well, this is just it. See, my point is, I don't know how long somebody's going to see Nikan as a business and be in this as a business, whatever. But I know that once they touch these products, they should be customers for life if they care about well-being. If they care about their health and their well-being, then they should make Nikan part of their everyday life. It's not a luxury. I don't believe health is a luxury. I believe health is a necessity if you consider how many people are depending on you to remain healthy. And
it's absolutely true. There's a person who just ordered something today, and he came in through somebody who's now also a customer. Both of them are not necessarily doing the business, but they do keep consuming the Nikan products year after year after year.
And by the way, another thing, if you're looking for a way to get informed or to be informative, where these nutritionals are concerned, I shared a video 2 weeks ago, I guess, Roger Drummer. If you haven't seen that video, please ask for it. It's on the chat. It's on the Core Consultant chat. It's on the Canadian chat. That video is also, I don't even know where to look for it. It's on YouTube, but that video is powerful. He talks about 4 products. He talks about the Joint, Siaga, KVB, and Jade Greenzymes. And, you know, I was just refreshing. I was just going through it to refresh what he covers because I wanted to make a case for this talk and last week's presentation. And I'm just listening to this thing. I'm going, holy Moses, I forgot how good this stuff was and how important this stuff was. Like when you listen to that audio, you realize we're not talking about a luxury. We're talking about the most advanced understanding of physiology and what makes our body go and what keeps our body healthy and thriving. I mean, if you want to be healthy, and by the way, it does take a certain amount of health to be making money. You'll agree. It takes a certain amount of health for you to be out there in the world, regardless of what it is you do. So your economic viability is completely tied to your health. Nobody wants to work when they feel sick. And we're not talking about a cold, flu, or whatever. We're talking about something that becomes chronic. Look at what is causing chronic illness in the world. Look at the country that has the highest concentration of chronic illness. So when people say, my doctor is amazed that I'm not on medication, it's because, you know, North Americans are the highest doped up population on the planet. And they're completely doped up on purpose by a culture that's designed to give you prescriptions. That's what it's all about. It's all about you become a consumer of their product. Well, what do you have to be taking their product? I don't see any of them offering their product to give you health, to boost your immune system, to, you know, I see all of them as oh, you got this problem? Here's the solution. You got this, it's always problem, solution, problem, solution. So they're in the problem business. They're in the problem business. We're not in the problem business. We are in the prevention business. We don't want the problem. We want the health. Nobody wants health care. They want health. So invest in health. It's as the Japanese have discovered, they spend 1/3 per capita what we do in the concept of health. 1/3 per person. and they're the healthiest nation on earth, and they have the highest concentration of people who live to be 100. So what does that tell you? It tells you that if you're at all interested in health and longevity, you've got to invest in health. But good news, you're going to pay the doctor now, you're going to pay the doctor later. Right now, it's cheap. So pay the health doctor to keep you healthy, because it's a fraction of the cost of what it takes to try and recuperate health once you've lost it. Barb, you have your hand up. Barb Richmond. And then going to once, going to twice.
There we are.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a comment about Roger's video. Other than the fact that it's not totally compliant as per today's standards, it is a fundamental video that everybody should be watching if they're at all interested in any of those 4 products. It's an incredible conversation with Roger.
Thank you.
Absolutely fundamental.
I would say if you're at all interested in those 4 products, I would add, if you're at all interested in the money thing that we talked about at the beginning of this call, if you're at all interested in making money, learn about the power behind the engine. We have an incredible technology, which is the highest. When you learn about how they even, where the food comes from, like where do these mushrooms even come from? It's pretty crazy. It's amazing. Like you'll be really, really impressed, because it's not something you hear every day. And it's amazing that we're not shutting it from the rooftops. It's amazing that you have to actually go searching for this information when it should be blasted out everywhere. So here, take advantage. This week's call today, last week's call, very important calls when it comes to looking at how to monetize your Nikken business and your wellness experience. You want to turn your experience into an income stream. This is how we do it. And this is one of the most important tools that we have to creating that passive income stream for the long-term success of your business. Guys, we don't have to believe
May I say one more thing, Mike?
Last point. I want to wrap this call up.
On Gary Lindner's presentation on Saturday, there was a point in there I was not aware of. I learned something really new. He said that Nikken had the filters for our sport bottle for 4 years before the bottle itself was developed. Because people will come up with the comment, well, isn't this bottle plastic? It's not plastic. It's a polymer that totally dissolves and becomes dirt within 6 months. And they would not release the sport bottle until they had a product that did not impact the environment. But they had the filters for 4 years prior to releasing the bottle. I didn't know that. That's
cool.
Important. It shows what kind of company we're with, that they don't cut corners. When they make a statement, they stand behind it.
Good stuff. Okay, folks, thanks for joining the call tonight. Please like and share this video so that more people will learn about it and take advantage of it. And next time we have this call, if I ask to raise your hand, if you have an AUTOSHIP or Wellness subscription, I'm hoping all the hands go up as of tomorrow. Okay, thumbs up. Thumbs up, everybody. All right, have a great night.
Great call, Mike.
Thank you.